Greetings, everyone. Welcome to Sabbath services. Well, it's been a real long week, and here we are. And I tell you what, the longer we keep the Sabbath, the more you need it every week. Just works that way. Okay? And God made it that way. Now think what the world would be like if they would just simply obey God. Think of how every single minister in the Protestants and Catholic priest know the seventh day, Saturday, is the Sabbath. See? Which God says, as we know, the first word is what? Remember. And what do? They reject. That's worse than forgetting. They know and reject. That's amazing. Okay? Now, let's get a lesson on what's happening. Come to Leviticus 18. Okay? This is not my message, but I want to comment on it before I get to it. My message will be, darkness is coming, and we are the light. Now, on the podcast, I went to Jeremiah 18, and I read there how God judges all nations all the time. See? Which means then everybody in the world all the time. Now, how does he do that without coming down and doing it himself? Well, he created laws. And the laws work this way. Very simple. If you keep them, you're blessed. If you don't keep them, you're cursed. It's just like the law of gravity. Everything's fine until you trip up and fall down and smash your face, right? What was the trip up? Transgression. Okay? Well, here, with what they're doing, now I'm going to talk about what they're doing to the children in school. Okay? This transgender thing. Now, I've got a whole series on transhumanism that I did in 2011. And I'm surprised that people are writing me and saying, I watched it, the one you did in 2011. And I thought, wow, that's a long time ago. Okay, that's 11 years ago. Why don't you update it? Well, I will update it. Okay? But human nature and sin and Satan the devil never change. God never changed. What was sin, beginning with Cain and Abel, is sin to the very last human being that lives. And everybody else all in between. See? And God judges the nations. So let's begin right here, Leviticus 18. And the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, so now always remember this. If you want to know what God says, he has it written down. And all you have to do is read it. See? Now, if you came face to face with God and he was talking with you, would you tell him, oh, I don't believe that? No, you wouldn't. Huh? Okay, well, here he's talking face to face with Moses, and Moses wrote it down. See? First person testimony, first person witness, direct from God to Moses, didn't go through any hands, didn't go through any other writers, and here it is, translated into English. Speak to the children of Israel and say to them, I am the Lord your God. Now, how many tribes were there of the children of Israel? 12. Okay. How many tribes are with the Jews? 2.5. The Jews, Levites, and some of Benjamin. That's it. Now, there may be some descendant of a straggler there, but all the children of Israel that were taken into captivity, now you need a book. If you don't have the book, America and Britain, I got it right here, which I did on the podcast, America and Britain, which, by the way, the podcast turned out really good, and I'll ask them how to get on so you can watch it, because what they do, they take the podcast with whoever's going to be on it, and then they don't allow anybody to come on. Then they edit it. Then they put it back up, and everybody can put their comments on it. And say to them, I am the Lord your God. Now notice what he says. Why did he do to Egypt what he did? Because there are some people who say, well, if God is a God of love, why would he do such a thing to them? Huh? Well, he's also a God who judges, and he gives plenty of slack for repentance. Okay? As they do in the land of Egypt where you dwelt, you shall not do. You shall not do as they do in the land of Canaan where I am bringing you, neither shall you walk in their ordinances. And isn't that what people do today? Find out, well, what are these people in this land over here I know nothing about? And go find out about it. Next thing you know, they start adopting their ways of doing things. Okay? You shall do my ordinances and keep judgments, and keep my ordinances and walk in them. I am the Lord your God. You shall keep my statutes and my judgments. If any man does, he shall live in them. I am the Lord. Okay? So right away, what do we have right here, first off? First off, what do we have? Choices. Right? He lays out a choice. None of you shall approach to any who are near of kin to him to uncover their nakedness. I am the Lord. Now, uncover their nakedness means to uncover their nakedness for the purpose of sexual activity, whatever kind comes up. You shall not uncover the nakedness of your father or the nakedness of your mother. So he starts out with incest. Now, what are they trying to do in some states? Okay, think about it. What is the goal of NAMBLA? You know what NAMBLA is? NAMBLA is the Association for those who want pedophilia. Okay? Then it lists all of them. Okay? She is your mother, you shall not uncover her. And then it goes on down, your sister, daughter of your father, your son's daughter, okay, all the way down, listing every one. Is God specific? Does he know what these things do? Yes. Okay. Verse 14, shall not uncover the nakedness of your father's brother, nor shall approach his wife, she is your aunt. Okay. And nakedness of your daughter-in-law, cover the nakedness of your brother's wife. Verse 16, not uncover the nakedness of a woman and her daughter, neither shall you undertake to uncover her daughter or her daughter's daughter. They are your near of kinsmen, and so forth, all the way down the line, okay? Now then, Then it says, after you get done with all the family relations, he says, you shall not lie carnally with your neighbor's wife to defile yourself with her. Now, people don't think that's defilement. See, today, that would be a little pleasure trip on the side while your husband is out working. And how many have done that? Okay. You shall not let any of your children pass through the fire to Moloch. Now, what are they doing? These are the laws they're trying to bring up right now, right? To let the children die unattended after they're born. Okay. And what everybody needs to ask, where would you be if your mother or your father did that to you? Huh? Where would you be? Okay. Neither shall you profane the name of the Lord your God, and you shall not lie with mankind as with womankind. No homosexuality. It is an abomination to God. You shall not lie with any animal to defile yourself with it, and a woman shall not stand before an animal to lie down with it. It is a perversion. And every one of the things I just read here going on today, okay, and have down through history, God says don't do it. Okay? Now, here's what it says. Verse 24, do not defile yourselves in any of these things, for in all of these the nations which I cast out before you are defiled. Why are nations removed? Why do they collapse? Because they become corrupt. And in selfishness, what do? They get rid of the children. See? Okay? And what does it do? Okay? For in all these the nations which I cast out before you are defiled. The land is defiled, therefore I, God, through his angels. How did he visit Sodom and Gomorrah? Sent 2 angels, right? What did he do to it? And the 3 other cities nearby which were lookers on. He destroyed them. Why did he destroy these other 3? Because they had enough corruption in them that they didn't want to undertake to try and change it in Sodom. And remember, God said to Abraham, if there were 10 righteous, he wouldn't destroy it. So God is not mean and nasty and carnal. See? God has said certain things bring sin. What does the New Testament say about sin? Wages of sin is death. What are we reading here? Death. No different, right? Okay. Then he goes on reiterating that you shall keep his statutes and ordinances. Verse 28, you shall not make any cuttings in your flesh for the dead, or tattoo any marks on you. I am the Lord. Now look what they have today. Look at all the sports figures. Oh, we're big and strong and tough, and look at all of the tattoos we have. Aren't we something? Okay? Now notice verse 29. See, the thing is, people say, oh, well, you don't need to read the Old Testament because that's outdated. Huh. Everything we've read, they've been doing, right? How can it be outdated if it's still going on? See? Verse 29, you shall not prostitute your daughter to cause her to be a whore, lest the land fall to whoredom and the land become full of wickedness. Okay. Oh, that's quite a thing, isn't it? Does that happen? How do we have so much wickedness? Huh? Where did it come from? All these things combined. Now, and notice what he says in verse 30, okay? Which is to say, if you do this, you won't be doing those things. Why? Let's read it and find out. Verse 30. You shall keep my Sabbath, reverence my sanctuary. I am the Lord. You shall not turn to those who have familiar spirits or seek after mediums. That's what we have today. Did you know there are a lot of teachers who are witches? Do you know they have sanctified Satanism as a religion? See? All of that in a country which we said God gave us this country, but they won't read his word to find out how to take care of the country because they don't want to establish a religion. See? Well, let me tell you a little something about the Constitution because it gives the Supreme Court the right to rule on moral things, because everything we have read here has nothing to do with religion. It has to do with morality. Where? In the land. And the Constitution talks about the God of creation and natural law. What is natural law? Natural law is what we just read here. All of this is unnatural law. Natural law is male and female, husband and wife, children, right? That's natural law. Same way with all of the animals and everything. Okay? See, the animals don't think like we think. And the animals don't get involved in perversions like human beings get involved in perversions. Okay? That's natural law. Okay? And God also gave the natural law, you shall not plow with a horse and a donkey. Why? It's unnatural, unbalanced, and it's not good for the horse or the donkey. Okay? Simple. So the Supreme Court of the United States could say, according to natural law, you're not establishing a religion. So the Supreme Court lies guilty of not carrying out their duty, and now they're being intimidated with people mobbing around their houses because they want to get rid of Roe versus Wade, right? Okay? So you see, those mobs remind me of what happened to Lot when the angels came down and went in his house. Now, they've been planning this for a long time. See? How'd they get all those signs made immediately? They weren't. How'd they get the money to bust everybody in that they had come there? They were prepared. See, when righteous, normal, law-abiding people do not do what God says, and these are laws for the nation, this has, of course, this has to do eventually with salvation through Christ. But here, this has nothing to do with eternal life. It's physical life. What we do here. See? They could have stopped it at the Supreme Court level by saying two things. It's not natural to have same sex together in a sexual cohabitation or marriage. It is against natural law to kill your own offspring. No religion. No religion. See? Isn't that an amazing thing? See? Even though it's in the Bible, I mean, you could take this out and put it in another book and not mention that it's from God. But these are from God who created us, who knows what's good for us. Okay? So, that's all I have to say on that. Now, let's come to Isaiah 61, because this is what is happening right now.